Hello YouTube. Of all places on Tamriel, known and unknown, one of the most mysterious places is the Graven Deep. A place where no ship that sails into it ever returns. It's a mystery to sailors all around Tamriel who avoid the area like the plague, and today in this video we're taking a look at what causes this strange phenomenon that has left many sailors shipwrecked. So strap yourselves in, because today we're talking about the story of the Graven Deep. So, the Graven Deep, very much Tamriel's Bermuda Triangle. It's a place straight out of sailor ghost stories, as all those who enter with their ships never return. None know what's inside the Graven Deep, as none have ever returned to tell the tale. Only strange rumors of a green hue in the sky and mysterious storms in the area that seemingly come out of nowhere are told by sailors who came just a little bit too close but managed to escape. However, the veil of mysteries about the Graven Deep has gotten lifted, as we as the player are able to enter the Graven Deep. A sailor and Mages Guild member named Dulev invites us to come along to find the mysteries of the area, and as we depart in his little ship and sail into the Graven Deep, we inevitably get shipwrecked, because massive storms had formed around the ship, and as many ships before it, the ship sinks, and you and Dulev then manage to barely get on shore of a small island in the Graven Deep. Once stranded, you get the opportunity to explore the island's mysteries. While exploring, you can find that the island was once a small outpost of the Dwemer Reccomended clan, the Dwemer who'd left Morrowind for Hammerfell during the First Era. I made a video on them in the earlier years of the channel. Narration is not as good, but watch it if you want to know more about the Reccomended clan, because the lore is still good despite the narration. Now, these Reccomended Dwemer had sailed to this extremely remote part of the Abyssinian Sea to build one of the most advanced facilities of their civilization that we know of. They built a large underwater observatory where they reportedly conducted all kinds of strange research, which was only possible at the very depths of the ocean. But the primary function of the facility was to house a massive Dwemer machine which siphoned magicka from the surface using a strange system of pipes to bring the magical energy to the ocean floor to power a strange apparatus which then influenced the currents and temperature of the sea in order to affect and control the weather above. Using this experimental facility, they were able to create storms, clear the skies, produce incredibly dense fog, and all sorts of other weather effects. It's highly probable that this facility was built around the time of the Dwemer's disappearance, as it doesn't seem to be completely finished and seems to be on the cutting edge of their technology from around the time of their disappearance. It's also highly likely that they built this facility far out into the sea to keep it both a secret and perhaps even make sure that if something went wrong, it would not affect one of their main settlements in Hammerfell. But that part is speculation, as some on Tamriel also speculate that making it in the depths of the sea might just have been a because we can kind of thing, considering that the Dwemer have built bases in more extreme locations for seemingly no reason, like the depths of volcanoes, the insides of glaciers, and even on the edges of the planes of existence. So the true purpose of why it's built this deep undersea we might never know, but I think the secrecy and keeping it away from the main civilization spot in case something went wrong is a pretty good contender theory. That being said, obviously the Dwemer at one point disappeared, and seemingly just before the facility and observatory got fully finished, although the weather control apparatus was already functional. However, as the Dwemer disappeared, so did any knowledge about this already highly secret facility. The facility at Graven Deep was forgotten and would lay dormant until centuries later, when sometime in the First Era, some druids who were migrating from High Rock to the Sister's Isles stumbled upon the small island in the Abyssinian Sea. They got shipwrecked there, seemingly just because of bad luck, as at that time the area was not yet considered dangerous. One of these shipwrecked druids, a man named Seer, who was back then already known as a bit of an outcast, who other druids knew sometimes dabbled in forbidden magics, found the entrance to the Dwemer facility on the island, and he became very excited. He entered the facility, and when sometime later his fellow druids entered, hoping to find him inside as they were getting a little bit worried, they found themselves under attack by the facility's defenses. Now, despite the defenses, they persevered, but as they reached the central apparatus in the facility, they found that their fellow druid Seer was no longer, as he'd used forbidden arts to turn himself into a lich, a powerful undead. His fellow druids were horrified by what they saw, but then their former ally just straight up killed them, consuming their souls to gain even more power as a lich. And then the newly turned lich got an idea. What if he could absorb even more souls and get even more powerful? And it also just so happened that he found himself in a highly advanced Dwemer facility. So he then took control of the facility and from that point on used the facility to shipwreck everyone who entered the area, controlling the sea currents to make sure that they landed on the island, and then he lured anyone who landed on the island into the Dwemer facility so that he could kill them and consume their souls. This trap is how the Graven Deep got its reputation as a place where no ship that entered the area ever leaves, as they get shipwrecked on the small island and then lured into the facility where their souls get consumed. Now, we as the player, together with Dulev and anyone you brought to the dungeon, can fight your way towards the Lich and end him once and for all, taking the Dwemer facility away from his control and once again opening the Graven Deep for sea travel. You, your friends and Dulev then escape on a small raft that Dulev built while stranded on the island, and Dulev informs the Mages Guild of the location of the facility, which then likely send a contingent of mages to study the place and the Dwemer apparatus in it. And that is the story of the Graven Deep, and I sincerely hope that you enjoyed this video and hopefully learned something new about the Elder Scrolls lore today. And if you did, maybe consider subscribing to the channel and returning for future Elder Scrolls lore videos. I would very much appreciate it. Now, all that remains for me to be done is to thank my top Patreon supporters, Mr. Bernardo Binna, Gabriel Binna, Polar Rasputin, Athena Hiodes, Dragonborn of Nerevar, Volcure of Argonia, King Chris, Bulge, Scrub of the Scrolls, Doji, Fenrir, Soda Bushido, Rakai, and Mr. Christmas. It's thanks to these people and all the others on screen that this channel stays alive, and for that I'm very grateful. That said, I hope to see all of you in the next Elder Scrolls lore video next week. Bye bye.